Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM. Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray. I was a little eager there. We almost had John Gordon do the segment, but he's going to do the next opening for the next one. But I'll introduce this next guest because she and her husband have meant a lot to me over the years of my outdoor career. I knew Bubba many, many years ago. Bubba Spencer as a wildlife officer, and now Amy, his wife, is doing a great job as the TWRA communications person for our region over here. And I said, well, we need to talk about. It's getting to be busy time in hunting in West Tennessee, and who better to tell us about that than Amy? Amy Snyder or Spencer? I'm calling her Amy because that's what she is to me. So, good morning, Amy.
Good morning, everyone. It's about to get busy. That's for dang sure.
All right, well, let's talk about it. Now, I know I talked to Amy before we came on the air that a friend of mine on Old Brownsville Road. I know we got the Velvet Hunt coming up. And what's the dates on that, Amy?
Yeah, the August Velvet Hunt starts August the 25th and runs through August the 27th. And one thing about the August Velvet Hunt is all the unit CWD hunters can use firearms during that time. Now, it's only unit CWD that can use a firearm.
Okay.
The rest of the state is archery only. So I just want to remind folks.
So you need to know all these CWDs, and we've got them here listed in the magazine, which has now become, you can't put it in your back pocket. It's got a lot of information in here, and particularly it's got a whole section on CWD, chronic wasting disease. And if you go and if you look real closely on page 20, you might see somebody you recognize with a nice deer. So
one thing about the hunting guide is it's also on your app. So everyone that has the app on their phone, you can look at the regulations there. But I do need to remind the unit CWD hunters, since it is firearm season, orange is required and select WMAs are open. So always check the WMA you're hunting to make sure that it is open for that August to hunt. And it will tell you it coincides with the unit CWD regulations and it will be open for the August Velvet Hunt. It will specifically say that, so double check that.
Yes.
I also want to remind people the deer units and the transportation has changed. So make sure you look and verify your county is Unit L or Unit CWD before you go out, because there are different regulations and bag limits for those different units.
And I talked to Amy off the air a little bit. A friend of mine he lives off Old Brownsville Road right here in Shelby County, and had a big buck on his property with no velvet. And he was asking, he said, well, whenever you talk to a TWRA person, ask them about that. So, Amy, tell us that.
Happen. It can happen. Remember, deer are on Mother Nature's schedule, so they're not on our schedule. So you can actually see deer starting to rub off their velvet, and they can actually be hard antlered at this time. It does happen. So. And
this is a special hunt. A chance to kill a big buck in velvet, if you could get one like that. But at the same time, you got to be prepared for elements. But not only that, Amy, we got squirrel season getting ready to open too, right? I mean,
yes, squirrel season opens August the 26th, and the bag limit is 10. And August the 26th is also another special day, and that is Free Hunting Day.
Free Hunting Day,
so,
yes.
Yes, you actually have deer season going on and you have squirrel season going on, and this is a great opportunity to get hunters out to introduce. You can take your family and your friends out, young or old, and introduce them to hunting. This is a chance to go small game hunting or big game hunting on Free Hunting Day. And
the squirrel season, that's where I started hunting, and most people do. And there used to be a lot of camps and things along that line, but I found myself watching the ground a lot more sometimes than I did the sky. Because
I started out on groundhogs, and we started our son out on armadillos.
There you go. Okay, yeah. And I know that the busy time from that, and then we go straight into dove season, right? I mean, we got
And that's coming up. You've got all your others. You've got goose, you've got dove, all coming up September 1. And so we're getting ready to get busy. And so that brings up another point I want to remind people.
Yes.
If you have not updated your phone or your app before you go deer hunting on the 25th, 26th, and 27th, make sure you update your phone and your app because you have to tag before you bag.
You do. And how's our dove fields coming, Amy? What you hearing?
Well, we are looking for dove fields to lease. So if anyone is interested, you can always call our Jackson office. But we are looking for dove fields. But the other dove fields on the WMAs are looking pretty good. And all you have to do is go to our webpage, and you can click on dove hunting, and you can find the list of dove fields near you.
tnwildlife.org, because I've seen the beans are looking great. We've had so much rain in July. Things along that line, so I'm thinking maybe sunflowers are coming out. There's so much going on. Well, Amy, we appreciate it as always, and we will stay in touch and keep us posted. Okay.
Thanks, Larry Ray.
Thank you. All right, Amy Snyder Spencer does a great job here keeping up with TWRA, but these are busy times for us, and squirrel season to me is where it all started. I don't know how it did for y'all growing up. I mean,
I actually started out with ducks.
Well, you grew up in Texas, all right? I mean, yeah.
Well, at that point, that was January 1980.
So ducks is where your roots
Ducks is where I started, but that was in Mississippi.
And ducks are your roots, right, Frank? I mean,
dove season was the start of hunting season for me.
Yeah. And that's the one thing, like we talked off the air about dove season in Tennessee always opens at noon on the 1st. Now, dove season in Mississippi and Arkansas is on the first Saturday, if I'm not mistaken, in September. And that's more tradition. They tell me that there's more doves killed, more shots fired on that first day than the rest of the season combined, just about, because it's a social event, too.
Right. I can believe that. The vast majority of folks don't hunt past the first weekend or first couple of weekends. I really enjoy the late dove seasons.
You do? Why?
Well, you get bigger birds. They're birds that have come out of the north, migrated down, and no one is hunting them.
No,
anywhere.
There aren't. No.
So if you can find a good field, it's a lot of fun. Of course, I'm chasing ducks and geese at the same time.
You're doing that.
But you got an afternoon, you find some birds. It's a lot of fun, really.
Well, I'm seeing lots of sunflowers. And that's a dove attractant, so to speak. Now, you were telling me, because one of the highlights of my career was when I went to Abasola, Tamaulipas, Mexico, for a dove hunt. Mm-hmm. It was an amazing dove hunt. I'm telling you, because you could shoot whatever flew over you back in those days. I don't know if I can still go down there anymore now in the cartel. I've taken it over. I'm not for sure, but it was an experience. But you were talking about the white-collared. White winged doves. White winged doves.
When I was in Texas, when I was growing up, you had to go down either into Mexico or on the Mexico border, Brownsville, Texas.
We went out. We went out of Harlingen.
Yeah,
and drove 3 hours in a van down to Tamaulipas.
That's where you had to find them. And then in the mid '80s, there was a severe freeze in South Texas, and it killed off a tremendous amount of the citrus trees. And that's where the doves roosted and nested in South Texas. So
really? The citrus trees.
What's happened over the past few decades, and now there's special white-winged days on September 2nd and 3rd, and then the 9th and the 10th in Texas, in South Texas, which the mourning doves are not legal, only white wings. But there's so many white wings now that have moved up because in search of more trees. I'll be hunting near El Campo, Texas, and I can tell you that, in the city limits of El Campo, it looks like Argentina in there a lot of times because the tremendous amount of thousands of white wings that are in it.
And these are bigger doves, you say?
They are. They're bigger doves, closer to a pigeon in size, really, and they fly really, they're fast, but they don't dip and dart like a mourning dove does.
A mourning dove is a dip and dart.
And they fly in big groups. You can see 50, 60 mourning doves at a time. I mean, white wings at a time together.
Yeah. Well, I know that we were talking earlier about trap shooting and all the sporting clays and everything. A dove can humble you too. Because of their ability to fly 50 miles an hour and stop on a.
I can tell you from personal experience, I can kill ducks and geese a lot easier than I can doves.
Well, they're smaller.
Yeah, that's it.
They are smaller,
target.
and they don't really want to come close to you.
No.
You know, a high bird, everybody says, high bird. Boy, then people will be firing away at these birds just to shoot, you know. And, you know, my 12 gauge will wear me out after that. But it's an experience, so that's all coming up. And then I guess this is get-to time. Frank, what's going on over there at your place? You had a lot of water, and how we coming? Are you able
right now, we're still draining water.
You're still draining water?
I'm still trying to keep the water off where I can. It's still a little bit too muddy for me to go in and do my land prep.
Okay. When will that?
Prep.
As
soon as it dries.
I think we're going to get dry spell here for about a week.
Normally I can get in sometime in September.
Okay. So
maybe late October, September.
Yeah.
I can get in and get it done, and but it's still muddy.
And then
we
Frank,
checked it last weekend.
And Frank, you told us you're busy. So give us an update here in this segment here about what you got coming up in September. We got a couple of minutes. I know you're going to be busy, Frank.
John.
Excuse me, John. My bad.
I thought you said Frank.
He's looking right at him and saying Frank.
Well, I was looking.
Well,
John.
September. Busy. I've got 3 episodes of DU TV, the DU Nation. We're going to do White Winged Doves. As a matter of fact,
you are going to do White Winged Doves.
We are down there in El Campo area. Followed up with several teal filmings that we're going to do. That's to me the best early season teal hunting in the U.S. is the Texas coast right there. You've got a tremendous amount of, and Ducks Unlimited has been really involved with all of that down there, the Texas Prairie Wetland Project, and with private landowners developing moist soil habitats, and teal just love those shallow water moist soil.
So you'll
habitats.
Be busy. You're going to be.
I'll
busy
be very busy. Like I said, I'll be leaving for Texas, and I won't be back.
You're going to Prince Edward Island too.
Well, I'm not going there. I wish I could.
But you are going to have a show from there, though.
Well, yes, but and it's DUTV, and a lot of the DUTV stuff is we've got a production company, and some really great videographers that.
But you're DU Nation.
Run that. Yeah, I do a lot of the DU Nation on location stuff with our videographers.
So that you can go tell them where they can go to find this now.
Oh yeah, DU Nation YouTube, the Ducks Unlimited YouTube channel. All you have to do is really in the search bar type in DU Nation, it'll pull it up.
I do that.
All the recent shows. We had a really great one on invasive Florida species, and we did some iguana hunting.
Come on.
Yeah, and talk about it. And you got to check it out.
You bring up iguana hunting with 1 minute left.
You got to check it out, Frank. There's a guy's got his black dog out there retrieving iguanas. Out of the
they
canal.
Eat them?
I don't know what they do with them, but the dog was picking them up and bringing them back.
Shelby says they eat them.
I'm wondering about the force fetch program on
that
dog.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't think my dog would retrieve an iguana, but once again, you'd have to introduce him to it. But this dog was bailing out just like a duck.
Oh,
retrieving those jokers off the shoreline.
All right, DU Nation. All right, let's take a break, wrap this baby up. And we've got an announcement to make on the next segment. We were hoping to get Will Fowler in with us from Frog Talks. We're going to announce the winners of our contest. We'll be right back on Outdoors with Larry Ray.